with talking about the Ozark Trail Walmart bike, the Hardtail Pro model. Okay, I know people have talked about it a lot, but I'm going to talk about it from a guy who's been in the bike industry for 20 years, and I'm going to give tough love to the bike industry. I'm going to start off, I've printed off spec sheets from the Ozark Trail, and then the Giant comparable model, the Trek comparable model, and the Specialized comparable model. Okay, and we're going to compare prices, and we're going to compare specs, and we're going to see, do the prices justify it? Should people really be buying a bike from a bike shop at these prices? Okay, the new Ozark Trail Pro 29er hardtail. It's got double butted alloy tapered head tube, Boost, SRAM universal derailleur hanger frame. So it's got a great frame. It's got a SR Suntour air fork, which none of the other ones had in the price. It's got a Shimano Q's 9-speed high range drivetrain. So it's got all the gears you need, and it's Shimano. It's got a real crank, real mountain bike crank. It's not a square taper. It's got a EXA dropper post, which is just the parent company of KS. So it has a KS seat post dropper. It's got Tech-Row brakes. And the most important thing, Boost wheels with a alloy welded tubeless wheel set. Okay, so in my experience, even entry-level full suspension frames from Giant, wherever, their entry-level Boost wheel set is not welded. It's not a welded seam. They tape the seams, they glue the seams with glue, and it's just staple welded. So the fact that you're getting a welded tubeless compatible rim set, wheel set, and the whole frame, everything for $598 is huge. All right, now let's go to Giant. This was the best spec bike out of the bunch. The Giant Talon 1. Does it have a SR Suntour air fork? No, it has a coil fork with less travel. Is it Boost? Also, the frame is not Boost, but it is through axle, but it's the old 142 standard, so it's a lot harder to find wheels for that. It's Shimano Q's as well. All right, so let's see. Is it worth buying? If it was the same price, $598, would it be worth buying the Giant Talon over the Ozark Trail if you don't care about brand names? Think about it from a customer perspective. The answer is no, it's not worth it. Not only is it not the same price as the Walmart Ozark Trail, it is $401 more. It is a 40% markup over the Ozark Trail. Okay, and once you get into the specs of the Specialized Rockhopper, it's even worse. No through axle, quick release in the rear. The same with the Giant Marlin 5, even worse specs. Okay, and people say people need the customer service. You're not just buying the bike, you're buying the customer service. That argument has worked well for over a decade. You know, going online, saving $200. Well, you're getting customer service. But there becomes a point where you've got to admit that no amount of customer service, no amount of chit-chatting with the sales rep is going to justify a $400 markup for 98% of the people out there, you know? And it would be one thing if the frames, the Giant frame, the Specialized frame, had special tech that the other frame didn't. But the Ozark Trail frame is a better frame. It's got the through axle, it's got the universal derailleur hanger. It's a better frame. None of these other frames have that. So it's in deep trouble, you know. I've admired that the bike industry's been able to make money selling bikes for well long into the other hobby industries, you know. How many computer stores are still around and selling computers, you know? Everyone's got a smartphone. Did anyone go into a hobby store, computer store, and pay a 40% markup for your iPhone? If it was $700, did you go pay $1,200 to help out the local iPhone salesman because there was customer service? You bike shop owners didn't do that, you know? I see people taking out interest loans. It must be a hot industry. I'm getting emails every day, people wanting to loan me out money. You know, we're propping up this industry thinking that the good times are going to come back and people are going to start buying bikes in bike shops again. And I'm just here to tell you that is not going to happen. You know, there's always a certain amount of people who are going to go to a PC store and pay 50% markup over the PC they can buy in Costco. But you can't base your business on computer sales. You can't base your business off bike sales. Everything needs to shift to service. You know, this sounds crazy, but you know, if I ran a traditional bike shop right now, if I owned the storefront, I would be halving it. I'd be renting out the other half of my retail space. If I rented a storefront, I'd be moving into something way smaller. You know, you have a lot of salespeople, you hire a lot of kids to sell bikes and fix bikes. The quality of your repairs have gone down. So small shops like me are getting all the repair business because you hire a college kid or whatever to fix the bikes. The only reason the bike shops are going to stay in business in the future is repairs. So, you know, this sounds cruel, but you need to let almost all your sales staff go. You need to focus on fixing bikes, repairing bikes, and becoming the leader in that space. Suspension repair, all this repair. Bikes are still getting repaired. Every year I'm doing more and more business. People still want their bikes fixed, but they're not coming to you to buy a bike because a $400 markup is not a buy for customer service. That's too high of a bar. When the margins were 10 to 20%, sometimes 30% margins, the customer's willing to pay that. But they're not willing to pay 100% markup. They're not willing to pay $1,200 for a bike they can go down to Walmart and get for $598. And I'm not a politician. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just trying to tell you the truth that we're not going to be, no bike shop is going to stay in business selling bikes. You know, you can sell bikes to people who want them, but that market's gone. And if you think Walmart's going to stop with this hardtail, or they're going to stop with that entry-level full suspension that's Boost, that's not going to happen. They're going to make a carbon bike. They're going to make a bike that's as good as a $10,000 Specialized, and they're going to sell it for $4,000. They're going to keep going because the popularity is there. And why is the popularity there? Well, AI. People think AI is going to help bike shops and drive customers to your stores. And you know, if you're doing repairs, if you're doing things that can't be done with the internet, yeah, AI will help your business. But if you're trying to sell stuff, you know what Google Shopping did to bike part sales? It just drove the margins down into the ground. Can't make any money selling bike parts, basically. That was Google Shopping. That was with the customer had to devote 5 to 10 minutes to scroll through everything and find the cheapest price. You know, when they have a Google Gemini assistant and they just say to it, find me a SRAM cassette. Find me it for the cheapest price. It's just going to pull up the cheapest price. They're not even going to have to do any work to find the cheapest price online. So the work to find cheaper price is going to go down. The margins are going to continue to go down, and the big players like Walmart and Polygon, the big manufacturers, they're going to continue to pump out bikes direct to consumer. I'm going to continue to assemble dozens and dozens of these bikes every year where people would have previously gone into the bike shop to pay for them. And yeah, where am I going with this? This is tough love, you know. Trek Marlin doesn't even have the same quick release. Same types of frames. What are we doing here? You guys, like, what are we doing here? We're trying to convince people to buy from us for a $400 markup on the bike. There's only so many suckers, you know. The door-to-door salesman technique only works for a certain percentage of the population. And once you knock on all the doors, everyone else is going to be on. They're going to be wise up to it. And yeah, so that's why I just fix bikes. I don't try to sell bikes. I'm just in my shop fixing bikes. And yeah, so that's what I've got to talk about today. Tough love. What's the bike industry gonna do? Are you gonna just order in 2027 models, hoping you'll sell them? One other thing, people say, well, there's rich people and rich people will buy my bikes. If I cater to the top 10% of my city's population, they're gonna buy all the bikes from me. And you know, I go to Costco a lot. I have a lot of rich customers. I see them in Costco buying high dollar items at very low margins. You know, just because someone's in the top 10% doesn't mean that that's gonna save your bike shop. That's not, you're not gonna be able to, you can't sell a rich person an iPhone for a 50% markup. They're not suckers, you know? So yeah, this K-shaped economy, everyone's talking about the K-shaped economy and chasing after the people who have the money to spend. And that's what I'm doing. I'm chasing after people that have the money to spend, but I'm not trying to sell them a bike that they can get online for half the price, you know? And unless you want, there's a few, every single city has a PC repair shop still. PC, computer, the computer hobby industry is still around. The people who made it, they made it because they saw what was coming with Best Buy. They saw the margins going down and they decided to pivot and make sure that their business could stay afloat. And I'm just telling everyone, you've got to pivot or you're not going to make it. Have a good day, everybody.